Right, guys, so let's crack on with episode 2 of the HBO Harry Potter TV series. And before we get to the titles, a couple of thank yous. Big thank you to the new subscribers. It does mean a lot, and the likes, it also means a lot because it does give you the encouragement to keep on going. I have done episode 3 and 4 already, so it's just about getting about. It might take a week or so, but it'll come out. Anyway, guys, let's crack on with this episode. Now, I think episode 2 is going to just evolve around the Golden Trio's friendship. It's going to really build on Draco and Harry's relationship, and also how Snape interacts and feels about Harry. I think it's going to end at Halloween. And there's a few points it could end throughout, but I think Halloween is the natural endpoint because that really does have the full circle for the Golden Trio's friendship in this episode. Anyway, let's get started. So, I think you're going to have the titles and you're going to have a Game of Thrones-esque title. I've said that every time. I think you're going to look at 2 minutes for the titles. It's going to show all the actors involved. It's going to show everyone involved. And it's just going to be a nice spectacle for us all to see. Anyway, let's get into the main part here. We're going to have McGonagall open the door. It's going to lead into the entrance hall, and it's going to be the sorting hat. It's going to be the first scene. You're going to be welcomed in. The kids are going to be a little bit nervous, but a few things that I am going to want to see. I need to see A to Z for the sorting hat, so starting at Hannah Abbott and finishing with Blaise Zabini. I think that's really, really important. They didn't do that in the movies. It was all over the place in the movies. There's no reason not to do it here. They've got a lot more time. Now, whilst they're doing that, they could have some character development with Harry, Ron, Hermione, and Neville, and Draco, and Harry, and they can have all that going on. Leading then nicely onto the Sorting Hat song, again, something that wasn't in the movies. And that really does give us a good indication of what to expect from each house, a bit of the history of the houses, and when you go in there, what to expect when you go in there, into those houses. It'd be great to see that in there. Now, whilst that's going on, the ghosts could appear. And again, we get Nearly Headless Nick, and we get the other house ghosts, and it'd be great to see them introduced nice and early, as it was in the story in the books. You're then going to get everyone in their right houses, so Ron, Hermione, Neville, Harry to Gryffindor, Draco very quickly is going to be sent to Slytherin, and it's going to be great to see that happening very, very quickly. Then we're going to go to the feast where all the food's going to appear. It's going to look delicious, it's going to be awesome. We're going to have Harry looking up at the table, and you're going to have Dumbledore, you're going to have McGonagall, you're going to have Hagrid, and then he's going to see in the corner just Snape giving him just an absolute horrendous stare. And the people around Harry are going to inform him who that is. That's Severus Snape. Don't get on the wrong side of him. He can be quite mean, he can be quite horrible. So try not to be too mean to him, but you can clearly see that Snape absolutely detests him already. And he's going to get a sharp pain in his forehead, which is going to remind him that actually maybe Snape is evil. And that sharp pain, it'd be great to see how they portray this pain in the TV show. Because it'd be nice if we have like a 5-6 second like scene of something happening, maybe a piece of a puzzle that we can put together. Maybe a dark wizard doing something, or the Dark Lord doing something. Those that have watched the movies, those that read the books, know why his scar hurts. It'd be great if we can have like a puzzle for those that don't know, that they can fit together over the seasons. Then I think we're going to have Dumbledore do his speech and the school song. And the school song to me is really, really important. It's going to allow us to see each individual group of people sing at their own speed, and maybe bring up the Weasleys characters nice and early as they're going to finish it off to their funeral march song. It's going to be really, really good to see. Dumbledore's speech, it's just going to touch on a few things. Don't go in the dark forest, and don't go to the room on the third floor corridor. That's really, really important. We're then going to go to the main staircase, and I think we're going to get a little montage of the prefects taking the individual groups back to their dorms. So you're going to have Ravenclaw go to theirs, Hufflepuff go to theirs, then it'll take you down to Slytherin, and you might see a bit of their common room where it's a little dull, gloomy, and then it'll go up to the Gryffindor where it's going to be vibrant, nice colours, happy colours, and maybe a little party in there, loud music. And it'll be great to see that on the screen. And it just sort of gives a feeling of what to expect from the characters in those houses. You're then going to have the boys go to their dorm room, maybe a little bit of messing around, being a little bit foolish, and then they're all going to go to sleep. And then you're going to get a next scene. It's going to be, in my opinion, it's going to be the nightmare, where I think you're not just going to get Harry arguing with Professor Quirrell. You're not going to get that. I think you're going to get a dark wizard breaking into Gringotts and discovering that he's failed his master. And then it's going to be, after that, it will be Harry telling Quirrell that he's worthless, he's not good enough, telling Quirrell that he's let him down. There's loads of people that would do this, and he's chose him, but he should have chose him. And Quirrell's replying with, I know I've let you down, I will try harder, I'll succeed next time. I'm sorry, Master, I will get it right. And that is when Harry will wake up, or he's been woken up by Ron, because it's the start of the next school day. And Ron is looking at him a little bit concerned, because it's sweat, a little bit of a fearful facial expression. And he asks him, what's wrong? Do you have a nightmare? And Harry just can't remember the nightmare. He just can't remember it. So that shows to us that actually, as a viewer, we've got more information than the people on the TV show. And it'd be great to see that portrayed. So it's going to then take them straight to Transfiguration's lesson with McGonagall, where they're going to just be introduced to all sorts of magic, changing items into other items, things like that. It's going to be really good. And what you're going to find is they're going to use these lessons to show us the professors and how they treat the students, especially Harry, Hermione, and Ron. And then it's going to show us the interaction, especially in this episode, between Hermione, Ron, and Harry, because they're going to really split them apart for 95% of this episode, really show their differences. And it's going to be the same here. So you're going to see Hermione being very smart, answering lots of questions, getting a lot of things right early on, mainly because she's practiced and worked hard at it. And then you're going to get Ron getting frustrated because someone next to him is doing a really, really good job, and he's getting it wrong. And he does need a little bit of extra help, and we all do it sometimes, but he's taken that out on Hermione Granger. So it'll be interesting to see how that plays out. Now that will then transition over to the next one, which is going to be it's going to be potions with Snape in the dungeons, and we're going to get the normal start of Snape coming in, reading the right act to the whole class, that he's not someone to be messed with, and it's going to then have Snape humiliating Harry Potter during this lesson, where he asks the questions about all the herbs and what they could do for people. And it's more, obviously, when you look a bit deeper into it, it's about his backstory and about Lily and James and Harry and Snape and what happened 20 years earlier. So it's all about those things that we need to get early on. It's something that they take from the book straight to the movies and be straight into this TV show. What they don't have in the films is the bit afterwards where he tells the group to make a potion, and Neville really struggles and he gets it wrong, and then they blame Harry. Harry gets points deducted, and Neville is taken off to the medical wing with pox on his nose. This then leads to the Great Hall, where you've got Harry feeling a little bit down, a little bit upset, and he's talking to Ron about, I don't know what Snape, don't know why he hates me, I don't know what's going on, this is ridiculous. And then whilst that's going on, people are getting their letters. Draco's looking smug, he's getting sweets from home, he's getting letters from home, Ron's getting letters from home, and people around him, Neville's getting his Remembrall. That's really, really important. And then finally, his owl comes in, Hedwig comes in, and he drops off a letter from Hagrid inviting him down to the hut, just to talk through the first couple of days. I think that just puts a smile on his face. And whilst that's happening, Draco does come over, and he starts to tease Neville about the Remembrall. He starts being mean to him, and then obviously they all move on to the next scene, which is going to be Hagrid's hut. Now, we're going to go to Hagrid's hut, where, first and foremost, you've got to get the tough cakes, the rock cakes, and the cup of teas. But you're going to have Hagrid giving his thought on the professors, and he thinks highly of Snape, he thinks highly of McGonagall. These people he really, really likes. He talks about Harry and about how he doesn't need to be worried about Snape. He's probably just overthinking it. He talks to Ron about Charlie and his family and how much he really, really likes them. And he keeps bringing this up after Harry picks up the paper and sees that Gringotts was robbed the day after his birthday, which was the day after they had just been there. So it's really important. Every time he brings that up, he notices that the Hagrid changed the subject towards either the Weasley family or how much he doesn't like Filch or the cat Mrs. Norris. So it's really important. It'd be nice for the people to catch on to that. Then we're going to go to the flying scene, the flying lesson with Madame Hooch in the courtyard of Hogwarts. And you're going to have, and it's going to be a complete flip around to the first two lessons. Hermione Granger's going to struggle and she's going to get really, really frustrated. And Ron is going to laugh at her. He's going to find it quite simple. And I think you'll see a difference in how they react to it. Hermione will go quieter, and she'll probably stare and she'll look angry and a little bit upset, where Ron will probably talk a little bit louder and he will probably make everyone very aware that she is really, really struggling. And again, it's just about finding dynamic in their friendship group and break them apart for the moment so we can bring them together at the end. Again, Harry will find it really, really easy. And the session carries on until Neville falls off his broom, the broom flies into the forest, and Madame Hooch has to take him up to the medical wing again. And then Draco finds Membrel, and Harry and Draco have a little bit of a one-on-one flight, which leads to Draco throwing the ball away, Harry nose diving to get it, and he picks it up, and McGonagall has seen this. And before McGonagall comes out, I think you're going to see the Gryffindors cheering, celebrating. They've got one up on Slytherin, that we've won this one. McGonagall comes out, she takes Harry away, and that is then the Slytherins winning. And you're going to see, again, another flip. The Slytherin smirking, being happy, whilst the Gryffindors are down on themselves. I think that would be a really nice dynamic for that session, that lesson there. And that will lead us nicely onto the Wood in the Defence Against the Dark Art class, where McGonagall goes and gets Wood, she brings him out, Wood's looking all confused, Harry's a little bit nervous, thinking he's going to get expelled, only to figure out that actually he is perfect for a sport in the Wizarding world called Quidditch, and Wood has been looking for a seeker, and Harry's going to play that seeker for him. And Wood's really excited, McGonagall's really excited, Harry's very relieved that he's not going to get expelled, and that will take us to the end of that scene. So then they're in the Great Hall, and the Weasley twins come over and they tap Harry on the shoulder and say, well done for making the team. Harry looking a little bit confused, not sure how they know, but they tell him they're both in the team. They play beta, which is a position where they hit the ball around, and he's gonna love them being on the team. Malfoy looks over, expects to see Harry being all upset, but actually Harry's looking a little bit happy, a little bit gloaty, knowing Harry knows he can't tell people things, but his facial expression is giving away a lot. So he comes over, Malfoy comes over, and to try and obviously bring the mood down a little bit, offers Harry to a wizarding duel. Now, Harry doesn't know what this is. Ron chirps up with, yeah, I'm his second, and then they arrange to meet that evening up by the trophy room, where they're going to have a wizarding duel between the two of them. Hermione Granger overhears this and she's encouraged them not to mess around. Please don't be silly. Please don't lose points that we've got. Make better decisions, where Ron and Harry just tell her to keep their nose out of it. And again, it's just Hermione trying to do the right thing, and Ron and Harry trying to run up on Malfoy, making bad decisions again. We're then going to go to that evening where Ron and Harry have waited to the last second. Everyone's gone to bed in the common room, and they're going to try and make their way out, where Hermione again confronts them, and she is going to tell them. She's telling them that they're wrong. It's probably a trick. It's probably a trap. There's going to be a teacher there. You're going to lose us points. And while she's doing this, they've walked outside. The picture's closed. The portrait's closed, and the fat lady's nowhere to be seen. So she's now got to go with them. And as they step, Neville, I forgot the password, was asleep outside. So he tags along as well. So there's four of them going up to where the trophy room is in the corridor. Whilst they're going up there, Hermione is still just berating them, telling them that they're in the wrong. We'll then get to the trophy room and the corridor in and around it. And for me, this is a really, really good opportunity for the HBO, the people that are producing it, to pan the camera around the room, and it can just go across a trophy that's got Tom Riddle's name on it. They don't need anyone to talk about it. They don't need to tell you what it's about. They don't even mention his name. We can just see it. And those that know will go, amazing, that's great. You know what that is? And they can tell people. Those that don't know won't think anything of it. And they can go back at a later date and see. So I think it's a really good opportunity then to get that. Now, whilst this is going on, you can hear Hermione consistently saying it's a trap. They tell her to be quiet, at which point they hear Filch talking to Mrs. Norris. They all freak out. They all run away. They find a hiding place. Peeves is there. Peeves gives them away. Then Filch comes to Peeves, who then plays a little mind game with Filch, and they have a little back and forth, while Filch gets annoyed and goes off, and Peeves chases him out to go at him. But this all ends on the third floor corridor, where they walk into a room, and there's a three-headed dog standing on a trapdoor, and they freak out and they run back to the common room. Once they go back to the common room, Hermione gives all the talk about we could have been expelled, this isn't good enough, I'm not going to speak to you anymore, and she goes off. Neville's shaking, he goes back to bed, and then Harry and Ron actually thought it was quite exciting, but they go back to their bedroom anyway. That leads us on to the next day, where we get to the Great Hall, and we got Harry and Ron just bragging to each other about the previous night. You got Hermione to the side, just ignoring them, and then from nowhere comes Hedwig with a massive parcel and a letter. And he opens the letter, Harry opens the letter, and it says, don't open it here, but this is your new broom, open it in your common room, use this for the matches. And so Harry and Ron go to leave, and as they leave, Draco, who again looks really disappointed that Harry is still around and not being told off, finds an opportunity to go outside and confront him about first years not being allowed brooms. And then Flitwick's walking past, so he tells Flitwick, and Flitwick goes, yeah, we've been told Harry is going to play, we're looking forward to watching Harry play Seeker, and we made a special circumstance for him to have a broom. And that really infuriates Draco. And then Harry and Ron sort of pile it on and say it's actually Draco's fault that we've got it. Without him, I wouldn't have it. So they're really piling on to him then. And it's going to be really, really good to see. Just, again, little wins, little losses for each of them. And they really brag on top of that. And it's really, really going to be good to see. Right, coming to the last part of this episode. So we now, in my opinion, we're going to have the Dark Forest. And what you're going to have is you're going to have a dark wizard, dark clothing, and he's just going to be leading a troll through the forest, through the mountains, and you're going to have a big silhouette of Hogwarts in the background, indicating that he's leading towards it, whether he's doing this with food, or whether he's hexed him, or he's done an unforgivable curse, bringing that troll towards Hogwarts. And that's going to be a very small scene, but it's going to show us what is to come. The next scene, we have the Quidditch pitch, and Harry's just going to be flying around. And whilst he's flying around, we're going to see lots of things. We're going to see Hagrid taking decorations up to the Great Hall for Halloween. You're going to see the Great Lake. You're going to see lots of great aerial shots of the surrounding area of Hogwarts. It's going to be great to see. And then all we're going to have then is Wood going through all the rules of Quidditch. He's going to go through the balls, through the fouls, what everything's worth. And it's going to be a really, really nice point for everyone to see. And it's going to be great. It won't be too far from the movies, but it's going to be really, really good to see. We're then going to go to Flitwick's class, and this really is the beginning of the end, because we're going to have Harry with, I think it's with Seamus, and they're trying to do spells on their own, and then you've got Hermione Granger and Ron, and they're just having like a little back and forth about how Ron just can't do it, and Hermione, she's just trying to help. She's not laughing at him, she's not teasing him, she's just trying to help. And she can do it, and he cannot. So out loud, Ron finally goes, well, you just do it. If you're so good, you do it. So she does in front of everyone, humiliates him. The lesson ends, and as they're leaving, Ron gets together with all the group, the boys and the girls from Gryffindor, and he humiliates her. She hasn't got any friends, no one likes her, and she just walks off, and we're not going to see her again until the very end. And Ron finds it funny to begin with, but you can really see in his face, actually, maybe I've gone too far. And Rupert Grint was actually really good at this. In the movies, you could see, yes, he was happy because he one-upped her, but actually, have I gone too far? And his facial expressions were great, even when he was that young age acting. So he did a really, really good job. We're then going to go into the Great Hall, where they're going to have their feast for Halloween, and you're gonna see the food, and you're going to hear snippets from Gryffindor table. There's a space missing. Where's Hermione? You're going to have the Pavels telling everyone exactly where she is, and there'll be some side eyes towards Ron, and he'll look really, really guilty. And that is when we get the news from Quirrell that the troll has come in, and Dumbledore's going to tell everyone to go back to their dorms, and you're going to have Snape sneaking off, McGonagall sneaking off. You have all these different teachers sneaking off into different directions, and it's something that hopefully they'll put in. But because we're going to be focused on Harry, Ron, and Dumbledore, we might not see it first time. It might just be like in the corner of the shot. So it's something to look out for. Something that I think we're going to see quite well. We're then going to have on the way to the common rooms Harry and Ron just sneak off because obviously they're worried about Hermione. As they get down towards the corridor where the girls' bathroom is, they see the troll go in. They hear Hermione scream, and then they go in and they have like a little battle with the troll. Hermione Granger encourages them all to do the spells. They've got the wands. Use your wands. Use it. Do it properly. And Harry is sort of distracted, which leaves Ron to cast the spells. It's a spell he struggled with earlier. Hermione talks him through it, and he gets it perfect. And because he gets it perfect, it knocks a troll out. The teachers come in. They give out points. Some are really happy. Some are quite proud. Some are quite angry. But the best thing about this is when they ask whose fault it is, Hermione just owns up. Even though it's not completely her fault, she just says, it's all my fault. These two have saved my life. I would have been dead without them. And it's really, really good to see. And Ron, you can see Ron really appreciate that. And Harry really appreciate that. And it's probably that moment where they both go, actually, she's all right. It's great to have her around. So they then get sent back to their common room where there's food laid out for them to have. They go in, and I think all three of them, and if this is in the book, they all say thank you to each other at the same time. And then they go and get their food. And I think then we're going to see, like, the end shot is going to be those three together. Just probably in front of a fireplace, just together, as a three, and that is the making of our golden trio for the next 7 seasons. And they're all going to look after each other. It's going to be really, really good. But I think that episode really sets it up well. Anyway, guys, let me know what you think. Let me know if you're happy with that. Let me know if you take anything out or put anything in. But guys, thank you for listening. And I'll see you in episode 3.